Inspector release at Newark, New Jersey, Osborne Street. This Inspector summary report, and we're standing here on I believe a 5-story building. We have a fire escape that has been freshly painted, hiding a lot of the rust issues that this fire escape has. We got situations like the wall connections, a lot of cement work that needs to be done, a lot of the connections like this one with a lot of original hardware that needs to be changed and reinforced, changed, silicone, shut tight, and every connection throughout this fire escape is in need of bolt replacement, rust cleanup, and silicone shut and bolt replacement. As we go along, it's the same thing with the straps that go across each corner. Need to be have original hardware, and they need to be replaced. Corners need to be cleaned up, free of rust, shut with silicone, and primed silicone and painted. Paint is already there. But then we got these connections that support the rest of the strap string, and they need to be replaced as well. All of them. The bars are okay. You don't need to replace the bars. Them, right? Just need to verify that they're solid, and they seem to be that way. But we need to go through all of them and make sure that every single one of them is solid, and then the structural brackets, they're important, like the corners. They need to be, the bolts need to be replaced, free of rust, silicone shut, and put back in place. It's pretty much the same deal throughout this fire escape. All corners, cement work, corners.
Seal that up. And we may mention, Inspector believes that a lot of water has been feeding through the sills. And this is probably one of the worst ones on this particular fire escape. When you go down, if you step down a little bit, you're going to see not only did it blow out all the cement, if you look at it from underneath, look at the connection on that wall from underneath. You see that it created a 3-foot long crack down the whole wall. Right. Blew out all the bricks, blew out the cement. Exactly. And that's why that support and all the supports below need to be...
They're questionable.
They're all suspect, and we need to re-epoxy them back into the building because the existing tie-ins are very bad and non-verifiable. Exactly. What about your E-clips here, Inspector Lee? What do you want to do there?
Well, we need to take those bolts out and replace them.
Okay.
On both sides.
Perfect. What about your rails going down? Anything else?
The railing needs to be enclosed. They are too wide. They are too wide. A small child could just fit right through and fall through it. So we need to put another bracket, another line to make it impossible for a child to trip and fall through it. Every step, every tread bolt needs to be changed. All this has been painted, so the rust has been covered with fresh paint. But anyways, it still have all the original hardware, and it needs to be they need to be changed, scraped,
tested. So to change the bolts or load test them.
Right.
Okay. Inspector Police, on these over here, you want these supports then. If I may use this as an example, if you want to go down there and look at me. So you need 2 options: load test the support, or if you can change this bolt out and put a new bolt in there, put a new bolt in there, you don't have to load test. If you change the bolts out and you put an epoxy bolt back in here, right?
Right.
You still have to repack and seal all these connections back into the building so that water doesn't get back in there. Underneath you is the top brackets of the pinwheel ladder.
This top bracket make it a trip hazard. They are way too long. They can be held down here and cut them away.
Change all these bolts, because you have to change all these bolts anyway. So while you're there, just redo this a little bit better, because this is kind of a crazy
Yeah.
You don't have these nuts sticking out. These are all trip hazards. And we're changing the bolts anyway, so might as well modify so that it doesn't hurt anybody. Let's talk about the pinwheel from down below. Anything else? This is sort of repeating itself from down below,
right? It's just repeating itself over and over.
Same cement, same platform, same corners. Change the bolt on all the 2x2 angle. Same brackets. All these heads are gone. So that head's gone, that head's gone, that head. So all these bolts are changing. The J's that are holding up the stringers, 100% of all the treads. If you look underneath the treads, these are all just original rivets, right? You want to show the rivets underneath, these are all original rivets. The only way to verify these rivets is load test it or change them out. And it's cheaper to change these out than to load test this tread.
Right.
But if there's any rust in the inside, which a lot of them have, majority of these treads have rust inside, you just don't change the bolt. You have to take these out, drop the tread, clean it, put it back with new bolts, and then seal it from above so water doesn't get back in there anymore.
Right.
Fire escape has been freshly painted though, very good. So let's go down.
No scraping, right?
Yeah. You see that? See the camera now? If you want to. What else you find, Inspector Elise? I believe over here we have. This is that long crack, right? This is what happens when sills. Yeah, when the sill gets water. See all these sills. I mean, there's a lot of damage.
It's cracking on the bricks.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it. As soon as the water gets in there, all these windowsills are all popping, and water's getting in here. And then, but look at that huge crack. So that's why these supports into the wall are suspect, and that's why we have to do an epoxy bolt to the side. Some of this epoxy bolt has to be done when, Inspector Elise?
It can be done now during the cold weather, so we're gonna have to wait for
60 to 70 degrees. So 60, April, 70. May next year.
Right.
Okay.
And that's okay. Now we got major connections with original hardware that need to be reinforced with new bolts.
Okay.
Same thing with the top of the stringers. Change the bolts, and maybe get a better plate, a new plate. Probably is better. Same thing here with the
railings. Put some more lines in the railings to stop anybody from falling through.
Replace every step, every bolt, every rivet.
Replace the bolts only. Now the treads get put back. Let's take a look at this pinwheel. We've always had problems with this pinwheel. This pinwheel sometimes are the cast iron ones, which this one is, and some of them have snapped. So we have to verify that this pinwheel is in good condition, and that all the pinwheels, the cast irons, don't have any hairline cracks, because otherwise we have to just flip those over to little pulley systems that are housed with a cover, and much smaller than that, believe it or not. And they do the same exact job, except they don't need to be so big. These are 50 to 75 years old, so each one of those needs to be certified or replaced, whichever is cheaper.
We have a support bracket totally out of the way.
This support bracket is totally bent to the right, so that needs to be brought back. So when they rebolt it, they can bring it back.
Right.
Again, original hardware needs to be swapped out and make sure that it's free of all rust. And these bolts need to be swapped out because this is 50 to 75 years old. And they actually go down, so this ladder needs to, it does work. It's pretty balanced, this ladder system. It just needs a release arm down below. We'll talk, but somebody did come in and switch out all the cables, so there is brand new 1/4-inch cable on this, galvanized, which is good. Let's go down to the end here. Again, we're just starting to repeat ourselves, and the last piece of the puzzle is going to be down there by the ladder where you go out. So all the corners are shot on this. Same repeat.
Same thing.
So 100% of the treads need to be rebolted and cleaned of any rust, correct?
Exactly.
100%. The treads can all go back.
Every support bracket needs to be cement work, and
yeah, a lot of them are spalled. Like for instance, that one right there, it's just a big hole, and so on. Okay, gotcha.
And when the good weather allows, go with the epoxy bolt.
Yeah, the springtime installation of the epoxy bolts. And then you want a release arm on here, another trip hazard down here. So since these bolts have to be changed out anyway, we're going to be able to move this bar so that it's not a trip hazard.
There's two options here. Either we have a release bar or a chain that will hold this in place
It's also an anti-theft device, correct?
It will serve as an anti-theft device as well.
Otherwise, she's balanced. She does go down.
She does go
but you
down.
have to assist it currently. It's supposed to drop 2 to 3 feet per second and stay down. Right now, you have to assist it.
It's not a hard thing to do, but it's not totally balanced. But it's serviceable.
It's coming. And then there's a walkthrough here. Let's see if it hits the ground. It's perfect. The bars on all ladders should immediately match exactly the way this one is right there. That's a perfect match. But sometimes they've got some buildup with landscaping, and the ladders have changed, and these become a trip hazard. But this one is not the case. But all the bolts around that bracket need to be changed because it's all original hardware.
Everything is original hardware.
Yeah. So all critical structural must be rebolted, and then let's put this back up so nobody breaks into the building. And everything must be on guide wires, which is this. And if it ever lets go, the chain will hold the ladder from look up, see if it's hitting anything. It's up there. There you go. Very good. And so if there was ever a release of any kind, that's what this catch is for. It's to catch the weight, new cable, but the release arm or the chain will keep this thing from guillotining down and holding somebody. So just a lot of standard, there's no evidence of any maintenance on the fire escape. So even though this fire escape, which is 50 to 75 years old, is freshly painted, she's shiny black right now. Our biggest issue is that there's no evidence on a 75-year-old building that there's been any change of any bolts. We may have 1 or 2 here, but that's not normal. Normally in a 70, we got 1 tread on this whole building that got changed over, and that's impossible because the fire escape has to be load tested. That's the option here. Load tested in the as-is condition. And because of all the missing heads everywhere, we would not load test this fire escape in the as-is condition. There's a possibility of failure, or certified repairs in lieu of a load test will be able to get this one. So we have 10 of these around the building, 10 fire escapes. So we're going to do an inspection on each and every one.